Remember that notorious Lesseyton Sports field in Komani in the Enoch Mgijima Local Municipality that made headlines for all the wrong reasons in 2021? Yes, that same one. That was meant to be a 15 million rand state-of-the-art sports facility, but ended up being a national controversy when photos of its launch ceremony started doing the rounds. Those images revealed a facility that was anything but state-of-the-art, with a patchy field, a broken goalpost, and two bare steel grandstands, as you see those pictures on screen. Well, if you thought there was something dodgy about the whole affair, you were right. Nearly 4 years later, Public Protector Kholeka Gcaleka has confirmed procurement irregularities in the awarding of the 22.7 million rand tender for the project, vindicating the voices that sounded the alarm in the first place. Joining us now is Mfundo Tsheketshe, who is Chairperson of the Komani Civil Group, who's been vocal from the very start. And we are hoping, of course, to be joined as well during the course of this investigation by Advocate Kholeka Gcaleka's spokesperson, who will take part in the conversation. But let me start with you, Mr. Tsheketshe. So I was saying in my intro there that if you thought there was something dodgy about the whole affair, you were right. Do you feel vindicated, having heard what the Public Protector has had to say about the process right through from how the procurement was handled to what was eventually delivered on the ground?
Thank you, to Phasiwe, and good afternoon to your listeners. The first sort of remark or opening statement in the Public Protector's report, or amongst the first, says, according to the specification dated 9th of March 2018, the construction of Lesseyton Sports Field was supposed to include the construction of grass athletic track, soccer rugby field, netball, tennis, and volleyball court and grandstands. However, these facilities have not been constructed. So in terms of feeling vindicated, I think it was clear as day for everybody that there was nothing. This statement doesn't say they were poorly constructed. They are not there to begin with. So by the time you get to the report, you already are now just, reading what went wrong, but already the summary tells us what we already knew. So I don't think I'd say we're vindicated per se. It's what we all knew. There was no shred of doubt. Anybody that would have driven past there would have seen, the state of that facility.
Yeah. Let me bring in Khulu Phasiwe, who speaks on behalf of the Public Protector, to just take us through the scope of what was investigated. Khulu, good afternoon. Just recap for us what the scope was. It's one thing for us as ordinary people to see the pictures and hear the price tag at the time estimated at 15 million rand, but actually from your investigations, seemingly it was even higher than that. It's one thing for us to see that. It's quite another for you to go, down various rabbit holes and follow the money trail and the trail of the project. What was the scope and what did you find?
Thank you so much, Tulas. As sort of a current phase is going, a lot of wrong things are happening there in Enoch Mgijima Municipality. So what had happened was that in 2018, they had applied for funding from COPTA, and the approval that was given was for 18.7 million rand for them to construct a sports facility. But somehow, during the course of that process, they approved a contract, or it is awarded a contract to a company called Komani Civil for 22.7 million rand. This was obviously much higher than what was approved. So it was exceeding the approved budget by just over 4.7 million rand. And even that company itself, when it was awarded that contract, it was actually the fourth rated company. So in other words, there were three other companies that were better than them. And the company which was supposed to be given this contract, the municipality decided for some reason not to award this to them basically saying that the company had already gotten another tender elsewhere, and therefore they wouldn't get this. So clearly a lot of violations in terms of the Municipal Finance Management Act, plus also the issues around supply chain management. All of those regulations were violated, which is part of the scope of what we uncovered during the investigation.
Yeah, just reading through your report, the Public Protector's report, Khulu, I'm just astounded by the levels at which things went wrong. Because the way I understand how you work as the Public Protector's office is you ask what happened, what was supposed to happen, and reconcile the difference between what happened and what was supposed to happen. Just the levels at which things seem to have gone wrong. Talk to me again about that awarding of the contract. If I understood correctly, this was not the original preferred contractor, this Komani Civils, was it?
It was indeed not the preferred bidder. The municipality itself, what they had done was, they opened up the bid as per normal, and I'm also going to explain as to what normal should mean. So they opened up this bid for companies that are interested to bid for this. And then Komani was number 4 in terms of how the outcome came out. But the municipality decided for some reason to open up a bid without telling Komani, without telling even other players that had submitted their bid, that they are reopening the bid, and then that's when this Komani was given this tender, because they thought that it sort of suited to deal with this particular matter. So what happened ultimately after Komani had gotten the contract was that Komani subcontracted a company called Sky High. Sky High was supposed to be some kind of a consultant for them. And then, this Komani, Sky High was given a contract for 1.1 million rand, essentially to do the scope of what's supposed to happen and things like that. So even Sky High violated certain regulations. As part of their normal regulations, they're supposed to come up with an environmental assessment impact study, which didn't happen. They actually gave the wrong information to the municipality, saying that they have actually gotten the go ahead to go ahead with the plan, only to find out that actually the Department of Environmental Affairs did not give them the certificate, which is why Sky High was penalized for just over 260,000 rand. So a lot of things had gone wrong there, which is why ultimately the contract was withdrawn, or at least Komani itself decided to withhold contract for a period of about nearly 2 years or so. And then later on, the municipality and Komani again decided to reinstate Komani without again telling other players in the market that this bid has been reinstated.
Mfundo, let me bring you back into this conversation. Where does all of this leave the community in that area of Komani, of the Enoch Mgijima municipality? It's been under focus, and clearly, I mean, a lot went wrong in terms of this facility that was meant to be useful for the community. And we've also had the failings at various levels highlighted by the Public Protector. But where does that leave the community?
So 2 things for me there, Thulasizwe. Maybe starting with the question that you've asked the spokesperson. You know, in this report, 6.2.41, which is something that really hits one very deeply. It says the upgrade will also afford the sports field an opportunity to host races held under the auspices of the International Amateur Athletic Federation. This is now to answer the question of what was envisioned. And now you look at the pictures that we're seeing there, and you tell me that shows an international sort of arena. It is shameful. It is unacceptable. It is unforgivable. You know, when I think, as I was reading this document, when I thought of the fact that Netball South Africa, as an example, has got a motto that says taking netball to the people. And you have our own local beverage manufacturer Twiza, which runs the Twiza National Netball Championship, a huge tournaments that are sponsored throughout the country. You have Zanele Maweni, who is the top netball talent that comes from Kala in a local municipality within the district. Now, even a person like myself can make one phone call and you could host a netball clinic that can give us many other Zanele Mawenis.
Yeah.
Now, what we've actually lost here, it then tells us what the community has lost here is not 22 million. It is an opportunity. It is the future of young people that should have been realizing their potential in sports. In an area where there is such high unemployment, that you've got idle minds and idle hands, sports, arts, culture, and recreation is their escape. And this is what we get.
Yeah. All right.
It's absolutely unacceptable.
I've got to leave it there. I've got to thank you for your time, the both of you. That's Mfundo Tsheketshe, who is chairperson of the Komani Civil Group, as well as the spokesperson of the Office of the Public Protector, Khulu Phasiwe. You heard their strong sentiments. You can't put a price on what this project, the mishandling of this project, has cost the community in that area.